Welcome to the Own It Sister podcast with the amazing life coach, Sarah Oxendine.
What's up, everybody? How are you? Holy smokes. Aloha, everybody. Today, we are talking about the phrase, I'm fine. Okay? So this is the Own It Sister podcast, and today's topic is, I'm fine. And we're not going to talk about the I'm fine, which you probably said today when somebody asked you, hey, how are you today? And you're like, I'm fine. Right? That just is, I think, the social structure that we're in. It's like we say I'm fine because if we actually say, well, I told my husband I was, or my, like, what am I going to say right now? Well, I'm getting divorced or, right, my child, blah, 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 right? If we really go down that path, the other person, like the thought is in our social structure, the way things are, it's like they ask because it's polite, even though they don't really care. And then we respond, I'm fine, because they don't really care. And if we were to really tell them how crappy we're feeling today, they'd be like, holy smokes, why is she telling me that, right? Or if you're to say, oh my gosh, I'm freaking awesome, which is, that's what I normally say. If that's how I'm feeling, I will say that. But the reason you might not say that is because you don't want them to feel like crap because you feel awesome. Okay, so it's such an interesting thing, our social structure, and the way that it has been that we like do this little dance of, I'm fine, how are you? I'm fine. Even though it's all a lie. Nobody's telling the truth. They don't really care. They don't really want to know how you're doing. They're just being polite, and they just want you to say I'm fine because they don't really want to sit and have a 20-minute conversation about what's wrong, or they don't want to know you're awesome because then they'll feel like crap. And it's up to you to figure out that's a whole different podcast. We're not going to talk about that today. We're talking about when you say, I'm fine to you. And all the damage it is causing you when you are saying, I'm fine. All right. Here's some ways you may be saying, I'm fine. We haven't had sex in 3 weeks. Oh, I'm fine. Or 4 months, flip. If you haven't had sex in 4 months, you're definitely not fine. That's not fine. Right. And you're married in a relationship, right? Like, not okay. If 40 pounds overweight, walking around, yeah, I'm fine. Are you really fine? You really feel fine being overweight, walking around in that body? No, I don't think so. I'm fine. And this is I'm fine to myself. I'm fine, my kids yell and scream and swear at me. Are you really fine with your kids behaving that way? I'm fine. Just lost my job. Can't find another one. I'm fine. We're fine. I'm fine. Our COVID-19's here. Our incomes, we're making a third of what we were before. I'm fine. And so here's the problem with I'm fine. Now, it's one thing to just be like, of course, we don't want to argue with what is, but to some degree. Because when you're telling yourself, I'm fine, then you're never taking the action to change what is. So if I'm fine, living at my mother-in-law's sleeping in the garage, and I just keep telling myself, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, we're fine, it's fine, then I never feel uncomfortable enough to take the necessary action because it's going to feel uncomfortable to make those changes. If I've been telling myself, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, we haven't had sex in 3 weeks. Oh, we haven't had sex in 3 months. Oh, 4 months. Oh, it's my husband. He feels like a roommate. I'm fine, right? Like if we're telling ourselves, I'm fine, we create, we're lying. We're not fine. That's not fine. If I'm 50 pounds overweight, I'm telling myself I'm fine. I'm just going to keep eating that cake. I have to recognize that I'm not fine. And the only way you have to literally admit that to yourself. I'm not fine. This isn't fine. This is not okay with me. And then it doesn't mean that you just complain about it. It's you tell yourself the truth in a way that and this is what it's called. Scientists call it activation force. Okay, I'm going to tell you a secret. And this is what I learned from my life coach, Brooke Castillo, who's flipping rad and awesome. I love her like crazy. I learned that you're never, ever going to want to do it. And let me clarify. When like, okay, you're never going to feel like it. Okay, so let me give you an example. Let's say that I'm like, okay, I'm sick and tired of being 50 pounds overweight. This is unacceptable. So then I decide I'm going to intermittent fast. Okay, so I'm not going to eat before 12. And I'm not going to eat after 6. And I'm not eating sugar, gluten, or dairy. Okay, and let's say that this is the plan that I came up with. Let me tell you, when you wake up the next day, and it's 10 o'clock, you're going to be flipping hungry, and you're not going to want to wait till 12. You're going to be like, you know what, maybe we'll start tomorrow, or, maybe I'll just change it to 10, right? Like, I don't really need to wait till 12, right? We'll come up with all these reasons, even though we don't want to be 50 pounds overweight. So you're never going to feel like it. Doesn't mean that you're never going to make a plan, because you've probably made hundreds of plans. What this means is that when it comes time to do the plan, activation force is what scientists call it. And it is when you have to literally force yourself to do it, because you're never going to want to. So if you've been waiting around to feel motivated, I'm just waiting until I feel like, I'm going to feel like it. I'm going to wait till I feel like eating a salad. Till I feel like, not eating till after 12. Then I'll start not eating till after 12. It's not how it works, sister. You're not going to want to wait, or you're not going to want to wait to eat till after 12. You're not going to want to eat that salad. You're not going to want to say no to that piece of cake. You're going to want the cake. You're going to want a burger with a bun and not in a lettuce wrap. But that's not how you get what you ultimately want, which is to lose 50 pounds. You get that by being disciplined. And this is what I'm telling, I tell all of my clients this, and I don't think there's been a client that I have not said this to. I hope you can't hear that. You have to learn to parent yourself. Like, this is something that I am repeatedly saying, you have to learn to parent yourself. Like, that's really what it is. So when you're telling yourself I'm fine, you're not parenting yourself. You're not changing the things that need to change in your life. You're not practicing self-discipline, because you're telling yourself a lie, which is I'm fine. So this is what I'm parenting yourself looks like, right? And actually, since let's say you have children, so I'll give you some examples there, right? Like my 4-year-old son would love to play video games on my phone every second of every day. Like, he never wants to not do that. I have to be his parent, and I have to say, no, you're not playing video games on my phone today. You're going to have to take it away from him, because if he's left to parent himself, he's not going to do anything. It's like with, my children, and they want to stay up and watch movies all night. Right? Or maybe they want to stay up till 5 a.m. because, why not? Sometimes, sure, special occasion, maybe once a year, right? New Year's, totally fine. But do we let them do that every night? No. Why? Because we're parenting them. They will never do it themselves. So we have to tell them, hey, time for bed. Love you so much. Shut the door, turn it off, lights off. Good night. We have to do that, because they don't know how, they won't do it for themselves. But here's what happens. We turn 18. And no one on planet Mother flipping Earth says, hey, guess what? You got to learn how to parent yourself now. Even though you're 18, you're not a parent. You've never been a parent. You've only been parented. But now you got to parent yourself. Right? Like, that's not like a thing that happens. So if you're a parent and you got 18-year-olds, which I got one, she just turned 19 yesterday. How exciting is that? It's our job to tell them they have to learn how to parent themselves. And in fact, if they actually practice and learn how to parent themselves as teenagers, young adults, then they will be better parents, because they've learned how to tell themselves no. And not no because you hate yourself, no because you love yourself. So this was another one for me. It was so hard for me. I knew how to hate myself then. I've totally done that before. But learning the skill of loving myself then, it's like parenting with love. Like, it's not like I'm telling my son, hello, you can't play, video games on my phone all day. You can play for 1 hour, half hour, whatever, after we do your schoolwork. And that's normally what I do with my son. It's like, okay, that's like his reward. Okay, we do school, you do Khan Academy, we read some books. You read some books with me. Usually we do like a counting video, and then you can play games for like an hour on my phone. And then I take it away. Because if I don't take it away, he's going to play games until my phone dies, and then he'll plug it in and he'll continue to play games. And he'll do nothing else on planet Earth except for play video games. And so what happens with us is we have to learn to self-discipline ourselves out of love. And when I do this to my son, I'm not saying you can't play video games because I hate him. What the flip? No, I love him. Listen, I want you to have an amazing brain that can develop properly. This is why you can't play your video games all day. It's because I love you. So we need to turn that around and practice that on ourselves when we're parenting ourselves. Like, hey, listen, I just love you so much. And this is an example of me parenting myself. Hey, Sunshine, like, actually, I don't call myself Sunshine. I call myself Love. I'm like, Love. I know that you're really hungry right now. We're just not going to eat, and it's totally fine. But it's not, for me, it's not competition against, all of the other super thin people, all these beautiful thin women. No, there's no competition here. It's me and myself. I am in learning to love who you are now and where you are and your situation now. And this is something that's really important, right? So let's say, if you're living at your mother-in-law's in her garage and you're growing your business, let's say, and you don't want to stay there forever. Learning to appreciate where you are, but not tell yourself I'm fine, is really important, because you could easily decide, oh, I'm so grateful for this situation, and I'm so grateful for all this, and I'm fine. But like, no, I'm so grateful for this. I'm 100% not fine, and I'm going to work on what I need to so that we can get to the next place, right? And so learning to do that with yourself, learning to parent your brain, and when you don't want to do the thing, right? So like, I don't always want to film my podcast. I always want to put my podcast out for sure. But like actually sitting down and doing all the research and then learning the things and going through like my own life experiences and where do they apply to the topic, writing it all out of my notes, you know what I'm saying? And then sitting down and actually recording it. It's not like sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, this is awesome, let's do this. Sometimes I'm like, snap, like, oh, it's tomorrow. Oh yeah, I got to do that. Oh yeah, I got to do that. And I have to just force myself, like, no. Ultimately, you love your podcast. You love putting out value for your audience, and you love life coaching. So no, you're not going to want to actually record your podcast, do the research for your podcast, film your podcast, and then put your podcast out. Of course, you want to just have it done already. It doesn't get done without all the other things. I got to do all the things. And of course, I don't want to do it when I need to do it. The idea, like when I put it on my calendar, it just looks so awesome and amazing. And then when it comes up, I'm like, oh, snap. Especially when something else comes up. I got to say no to something else so that I can stay committed to what I've committed doing. Okay. So learning to parent yourself. Here's something that I want to tell you. Scientists have calculated the probability of your existence. And in the conclusions are actually very similar to Buddhism. But it is that the probability that you were born at the time you were born with your specific DNA structure to your specific parents is 1 in a 400 trillion chance that happened. Did you hear what I said? You being born as you, who you are, with your DNA structure to your parents at the time of day, on the day and year in which you were born, was a 1 in 400 trillion chance that happened. Do you want to know what that says? It says you're a miracle. That says that you are special. That says that you have some special and amazing things to do on this planet. Every day, all day, you have thoughts going on in your brain, ideas. Like, How many of those ideas have you put into action and actually done? Right? The problem isn't not having creative ideas. The problem is not taking the activation force to force yourself to do them. And some of you guys, listen, I know some of you are like, but I'm just waiting to feel motivated. I'm just waiting for the right time. I'm waiting to feel good about it. It's not going to happen. That isn't a thing that happens. You're going to wait your whole life. You have to take action now. If you're unhappy in your marriage, you need to figure it out right now. You don't just say, oh, I know that, but we got these kids. We're just going to wait to get divorced until they're, graduated. So let's just sleep in separate rooms until then. That's not acceptable. Take care of that business now. Fix it or don't. That's your personal choice, but you need to do the work to figure it out. Don't just be satisfied with being 50 pounds overweight. If that's something that you're telling yourself, I'm fine, and you're not, then you got to do something about it. And not because you hate yourself and not because you think your body is ugly, but because you love what you have. You're grateful for what you have and you want to do better by you. Yeah, I'm 50 pounds overweight. I love my body. When I look in the mirror, I'm a beautiful, amazing mama. I am. I want to do better by me. I want to love myself more than what I've been doing in my past. So I intermittent fast, and I don't eat sugar, gluten, and dairy on a regular basis. Really pretty much it all, but I think I had a couple egg rolls yesterday for my daughter's birthday, but I didn't eat any of the sugar. So, right, but I had that planned in to my exception, so that's okay. But I'm loving myself and not saying I'm fine. I'm deciding I love myself, I'm not fine, and I'm going to make the changes necessary. You aren't going to make the changes necessary unless you admit to yourself first that you're not really fine. So our body knows what it needs, right? It has basic needs. And we feel a certain way when we need something, right? So if I'm hungry, I have a thought in my head, which is I'm hungry. And that hunger thought sends signals throughout my body that's yeah, we are hungry. And then we actually feel hungry, right? When I'm thirsty, when I feel thirsty, I have a thought in my head that says I'm thirsty. And then my body has the sensation that I'm thirsty, but it feels thirsty, right? My mouth starts salivating and I'm feel parched, or maybe it's dry cotton mouth and I'm I need it. Maybe my skin and my lips are chapped because I physically need water. We have physical responses to our basic needs. Okay. When you feel like you want sex, right? You have physical sensations in your body. You have thoughts in your brain oh, yes. You feel a certain way. And then, right, you need to take care, then, right, obviously we take care of those needs. We have the same with emotional. When we need emotional support, our body tells us. Maybe we have breakdowns, right? We need more emotionally. The same is spiritually. And in this category of we're humans, we were meant to create. So my thought is that when we feel stuck or unfulfilled, okay, our body, we are lacking something. We as a whole soul, as a human soul, you are lacking something. If you are feeling unfulfilled, if you are feeling stuck, and I believe it is a signal that your body is telling you, and it's causing you to feel unfulfilled, causing you to feel stuck because you are living beneath your potential. Because there is more for you to do. You have all these amazing ideas and you're not doing anything because you haven't learned to parent your brain. You haven't learned that, oh, I'm not fine. I need to put some of these ideas into action. But again, here's the deal. You're never going to feel like it. You're not going to feel like doing it. And you just got to do it anyways. Okay. I don't know why this happens, but every time it's annoying, so I apologize. Okay. You're not going to feel like it. You just have to do it anyways. So you have to learn to be self-disciplined. You have to learn to do the things you don't want to do. Here's one of the ways you can do it. Probably when you woke up this morning, how many of you pressed snooze? You said, lay in that cozy bed just a little bit longer. Okay, probably most of you. The same force, that activation force that it takes to get yourself out of bed, out of your warm, cozy bed into your cold room is the same force that you need to practice so that you will do the things you don't want to. So on a physical level, that force to get your booty out of your bed and into your cold room to start your day, that is the same kind of force, that same activation force that you need to move from I'm fine to stop lying to yourself and create and to make the changes in your life and in any area of your life. It doesn't matter. That is the same skill. So here's how I'm going to suggest that you can practice that. Set your alarm clock for, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Set your alarm clock for 30 minutes earlier. This is tomorrow, okay? Tonight, you're going to set your alarm clock for 30 minutes earlier. And you're not going to push snooze. You're just going to get your booty up and you're going to get out the door. You're going to start your day. That's it. You are not going to allow yourself the comfort to click snooze. Because when you're clicking snooze, you are clicking snooze in other areas of your life. And we got to change that. We got to change that so you can stop living beneath your potential. Okay? And again, this is in any area of your life. Maybe you're doing great financially and maybe your marriage is doing great. But maybe just because you're doing great financially, creatively, you're still not putting out your work into the world. You're still not being creative in your unique way. You are 1 in 400 trillion. And so am I. Every human on planet Earth is. Like 1 in 400 trillion? What? You got some work to do. You got ideas in your brain that I will never have. That the person, if you look around you, they will never have because they're yours. Nobody can do it like you. But until you learn to practice activation force and you learn to force yourself to be uncomfortable, to take the necessary actions to actually create what it is that you have going on in your brain, all these amazing ideas, you're just going to stay mediocre. You're just going to stay fine. And you're going to keep telling yourself, and it's going to be a lie, and you're going to feel uncomfortable, and you're going to feel stuck, and you're going to feel unmotivated, and you're going to feel unfulfilled, and you're just going to feel like that forever. Unless you change something. And the first way you can start changing that is to set that alarm clock for tomorrow, get up a half hour earlier than what you normally do. Don't click snooze, get up immediately and get moving. And you practice that over and over and over. And that is the same force that you will need to create and to make the changes in your life that you're telling yourself you're fine and you're not really fine. Okay. So the first thing is you have to be willing to be honest. Where are you telling yourself that you're fine and you're not really fine in your life? It's okay that you're not fine. In fact, it's wonderful. That's awesome because if you're not fine, that means you can improve. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. It's going to be uncomfortable, but here's the deal. You're uncomfortable anyways. You're uncomfortable right now telling yourself I'm fine, lying to yourself, living a mediocre life, and feeling unfulfilled. Right now, anyways. Or you could feel uncomfortable forcing yourself to do things that you really want to do, you just don't want to do in the moment. Waiting around for the motivation is a waste of your time. Telling yourself I'm fine and lying to yourself is killing you. You've got to stop. You have got to stop lying to yourself. So just start paying attention. Where is it in your life that you are lying to yourself? Where is it in your life that you're not telling yourself the truth? And just be more honest and love yourself through the process. It's okay. It's okay to be unhappy in your marriage. It's okay. You're not going to change anything until you understand you're actually unhappy so that you can now make the necessary changes. Just because you're unhappy in your marriage doesn't mean you leave. It means that you might be like, oh, snap, let's investigate. Like, what's going on here? Why am I unhappy? Most likely you're not the only one unhappy. They could totally be unhappy too. Let's talk about this. Let's fall in love with each other all over again. Let's find happiness together. And then let's decide what we want to do from there. Maybe you stay, maybe you don't. Either way, it's fine. Maybe you're divorced already. And you're just telling yourself, I just love this single life. It's just so amazing. I just love being by myself. And maybe you do. And if you do, again, that's fine. I'm not talking to that person. I'm not talking to the person who really is fine. I'm talking to the person, and you know who you are. If you're telling yourself you're fine, but deep down, you're not. That's who I'm talking to. I'm talking to you, sister. If you're telling yourself you're fine and you're not really fine, just own that. Oh yeah, flip, man. I've been running around having lots of fun, or maybe thinking I'm having lots of fun. I'm single. I don't really want to be single forever. Okay, then you analyze it. What do we need to do? I suggest enrolling in my program, and I can totally help you out there. My program, well, first of all, I work with anybody, but for sure, my program is specifically geared for women who are recently divorced and are looking and working on re-identifying who they are or who they are now in this new territory, and just doing some deep work. When it comes to working with me, I do say, call me and let's see if we're a good fit. And the reason I say that is I'm kind of old school in some ways. I think it's really important for us to talk and get a feel for each other. I mean, you may talk to me and be like, yeah, you're just not really my person. I don't think this is going to work. Totally fine. Like, you're not going to hurt my feelings. That's awesome. Like, I only want to help you if I can help you. And you may be like, no, listen, I really need your help and I want help. But through our conversation, I might know that you're not ready for it yet. I'm not going to take your money and I'm not going to coach you if you're not in a headspace where you're ready for change, where you're ready to really dig in and do this work. Like, you have to mentally be at a certain place. I know the questions to ask so that we can figure that out. And we do that over the phone. But if you're not ready, I'm just going to say, listen, let's try in 6 months and see if you're ready then. But your headspace, like, you have to be ready for change. You have to be open to vulnerability, to being wrong, to being open that you maybe need to think differently than you've been thinking for all these years. And sometimes it just takes time, right? Like, I think of past relationships that I've been in, and there was a time period after a breakup, especially a serious one, where it was like I needed to heal, and I wasn't ready to admit the truth about some things yet. And if you're not ready to hear the truth, because I'm going to tell you when we're chatting on the phone, you may not always like it. But if you're not ready for that, then it just isn't worth our time. And so, I would just let you know at the beginning. But if you are ready, I will tell you that you should get my program immediately. And it's going to be a stretch. My program, it's not like going to McDonald's. It's like going to a nice fancy restaurant. So the price difference is different for sure. You can go to McDonald's and get a burger and pay $1 or $2. I don't even know. I don't go to McDonald's, but I don't even know, whatever the cheapest burger is. And then you can go somewhere else and pay $15 for a burger. Is there a difference between the burgers? Yes. Is the price difference? Yes. But that's what I'm offering you. Are there other coaching problems? There are coaching problems, but are there other coaching programs that are going to definitely be cheaper than mine? Yeah, totally. And you're going to get something different. So working with me is one-on-one. It is super awesome and amazing. We talk weekly. You get daily emails from me Monday through Friday. You get a workbook and you get essential oils and you get supplements. We really work to heal from the inside out. Because the truth is, if your gut is really messed up and your insides and your eating habits are really bad, your brain can't function properly. And if your brain can't function properly, that's going to create problems. So we work on that along with your thought work. So it digs deep. It's really amazing. It's intense. Okay. But you'll get so much out of it. So again, my name is Sarah Oxendine, and the name of my program is Own It. The name of my podcast is Own It Sister. And the essential oils for feeling unfulfilled would be Roman chamomile, jasmine, neroli, and litsi. My favorite out of those is Roman chamomile is flipping amazing. And actually, all of these oils are awesome. I love all of them. Neroli I use as deodorant sometimes. Jasmine I actually do use every day. I actually put it under my nose and I put it here every day. I love it. And then the other, I was going to share unfulfilled and unmotivated. So if you're feeling unmotivated, the essential oils you can use are Motivate, Citrus Bliss, Blue Tansy, Litsi, and black pepper and dill. Motivate is really yummy. Citrus Bliss is really yummy. So here what's nice, right? We have unfulfilled. Litsi is in unmotivated and unfulfilled. So that's nice that you can use that oil and it will help you either way. That's the only one that crosses over. And that's a yummy oil. I love dill. I love dill in my tuna, to be honest. I love that. I'll put a drop in. It's so good. Black pepper is amazing too. Blue tansy I use on my face. But unmotivated and unfulfilled, those are the essential oils that you would use for that. We use essential oils in my program because I'm all about supporting you in every way that I can. If you're not moving that body, we talk about getting yourself on a routine of moving your body. And I really just meet you where you are and then we build from there. So it's very individual and it's very awesome. So if you're ready to move from where you are to where you want to be, and specifically if you are recently divorced, and when I say recently, I just mean within the last, few years, but even if you're divorced at all, right? And you are ready to make some changes and shifts, I'm your girl. So have an amazing day. Call me. My number is in the notes of this YouTube video. And here's the other deal, you guys. Like, please, and subscribe to my channel. Click the bell button so that you will get notifications. And share this. You guys, if you do nothing but share this to your Facebook, share this. I would really, really appreciate it because the more people that I get in front of, the more people I can help. And even if you never sign up for my program, you're going to get so much from my podcast. So please please share, and please subscribe and click that notification button. Have an amazing day and remain unaltered and own it, sister. Own it. No better time than now.